Where the Children Don't Play. It's about a deputy who lives in the mountains of Colorado in a small town. I based the town on Telluride, actually. Um,
Okay.
uh, and when he was a child, the town encountered missing children, and when it was kind of learned what was going on, he wound up losing his brother and his father, and he always felt like he could never quite tell anybody what he'd seen, and he was forced to seal this cave where they encountered this thing. He followed his father into the cave, and he's the only one that came out. And for 20 years, he was basically hoping that this thing was gone, and he's been dealing with the things he witnessed in there his entire life. So there's PTSD and some psychological aspects in the story. And then one day things change, and this rundown resort where the cave resides, that used to be a tourist attraction, gets bought and reopened, and his worst nightmares come back to life.
Mhm.
And then we take off from there. Uh, so he has to confront his inner demons as well as the outer demons that begin to start plaguing his town once again. And so that's basically where the children don't play. And it was, like I said, it was an idea I pulled out of, I don't, thin air somewhere. I don't even remember how I got it, but here it is. And I love it. I absolutely love it. There's only one thing, there's only one thing in the story that I never quite got to, which I won't discuss for anybody else to find out. We talk after or whatever, Ryan. I'll tell you because you'll understand. You're in
Mhm.
the know. But yeah, I was gonna add it. I was gonna add it, but then I was like, well, I'm gonna have to change too many things, and it was ready to go. I've been through
Mhm.
enough edits and everything, so but I'm really proud of it, and I loved writing it, and yeah, I hope people find it, and it's a supernatural thriller. It's got horror elements.
Mhm.
Um, I had one review where the person who read one of the beta reads was like, it wasn't as didn't have as much horror as I wanted or that I prefer, kind of a thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool, that's fine. I just want, the honesty is really all I want. But as also is like, it's also billed as a supernatural thriller, so whatever. But uh,
I,
so
I'm a massive horror fan. Like I consume everything horror. I watched probably more horror movies than I can count, and I still have a lot more to watch. I play my favorite video. I'm a massive gamer too. My go-to are like JRPGs and all that kind of thing. But my favorite game series of all time is Resident Evil because it introduced me to horror, and I replay those games at least once a year, all of them from one to this year's nine. And to me, it had, yes, the psychological thriller element. It definitely had the horror element, and it also had to me, without spoiling anything, it had that old school monster creature feature kind of thing with the different elements that do come into play throughout the story. And I absolutely loved it. I definitely think maybe that person is just like, I didn't think there was anyone that loved horror more than me, but maybe that person is just like they just want gore and supernatural things all the time. But that doesn't work. You have to have the story as well.
it
Yeah, I
seemed that
thought
way, but to each their own, and it's cool, and everything we write isn't for everybody, and I respect their opinion,
mhm.
because it's theirs. It's like they get to have that, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to disparage it at all.
No, I
Um,
get it.
it's just, it's like you can't please everybody.